welcome back to Waiting in Laodicea. I'm your host, A.T. Martinez, and today I want to talk to you about, well, have any of you all ever met somebody famous? Can you sit back and remember what that was like? I can remember, I was thinking just the other day, reminding myself, going down memory lane, as you could call it, of when I met Bruce Dickerson. For those of you who don't know who Bruce Dickerson is, he's the lead singer for the band Iron Maiden. I was about 19 years old, living in Germany, and I was working at a club downtown, and the members of Iron Maiden came into the club. And Bruce Dickerson walked around, met people, came over, talked to me, and I remember thinking to myself, man, this is Bruce Dickerson. This is the lead, this is Iron Maiden. I was impressed. I was thrilled, and I was so honored that he would sit and talk to me. Now, as Christians, we sometimes forget the honor that is bestowed upon us. Every time we pray, we are talking to the King of Kings. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this a little bit carefully. If you want to meet somebody famous today, and you don't just accidentally bump into them, what do you have to do? You got to make an appointment. That appointment may or may not ever be granted to you. If you don't know that for sure, try to make an appointment to see Joe Biden. I don't know why you'd want to, but if you did, the odds are you're not going to get to. Why? He's too busy. He's quote-unquote the leader of the free world. He's too busy to take his time and visit with, mere people like you and me. No matter who you are thinking in your head, the odds are, depending on who they are, you're not going to get an appointment unless you have something that is of benefit to them. Now, as a Christian, you can go to the Lord and pray to the Lord, and guess what? You don't need an appointment. You can talk to God anytime. No appointment necessary. That in itself is a bigger honor than most of the time we even think about. Because take a stop and think for a second. This is the God of gods, the King of kings, the Lord of lords, and anytime you want, you can basically pick up a phone and say, "Hey, Lord, how you doing today?" The bad part is he actually talks to you every day. Every day he's trying to talk to you. And are you picking up that phone for him? I remember seeing a video somebody made for YouTube where God is calling on the phone and the person keeps ghosting him. The King, the Lord of Lords, is calling you, and you're going to ghost it. Kind of makes you think. But let's take a look at some other ways that we are honored. I said he's the King of Kings. In the world today, there are still some kings. There's an emperor. Again, you don't just walk in and say hi. You can't walk into Buckingham Palace and say, "Hey, I want to chat with the Queen." You could walk in. You might get to the gates. If you got past the gates, and the odds are you're going to jail. Furthermore, you don't generally walk into royalty empty-handed. And it used to be a lot worse. You never showed up to a king's court or the emperor or anybody else's and not presented them with a gift. And yet each and every day we get to talk to the King of Kings. And we come empty-handed. The honor and privilege of being able to do that is beyond words. Occasionally you'll hear a song that reminds you of we come before the Lord empty-handed. We don't come to the Lord with gifts because we have no gift we could give him that is worthy One of my favorite Christmas carols is the story of the little drummer boy. Why? Because he had no gift to give God. So what he did instead is he played for the baby. Prayed for played his drums for the baby Jesus. Now I'm not too sure how much an infant would really like me playing the drums. I am, on the other hand, pretty sure that if I walked into Queen Elizabeth's court and said, "Here, let me set up my drum set. I'll knock out a set for you," I'm going to be in that Tower of London real quick from that. But yet we can play those drums for God, and He will accept that gift. Not because we have to provide Him a gift, but because He knows we gave it to Him as a gift. Things we do for the Lord, He appreciates. And yet we don't have to do any of them. Why? Because there's no entrance fee required. No gift is required in order to pray to the Lord. He gave us the gift instead. And that gift, when He sent His Son to die on the cross, He did us one more thing. He agreed to make us brothers and sisters with Christ. So let's take a look at Christ. What makes, beyond the fact He's the Son of God, what else about Christ makes that gift even more interesting or more special? Who was Christ? Well, Christ was a descendant of David. David was the king of Israel, the king of Jews. So we have been adopted into a royal family, because that's what it means to be a brother and sister to Christ. We've been adopted into the royal family. Not just any royal family, the royal family. There were a lot of kings and queens in Israel, but there was only one David. And there's only one Solomon, which was his son. These two are the kings and queens. These are the pinnacle. These are the definition of Israeli royalty. That's the family that adopted us. Now, I'll tell you, in the real world, normal life, I'm an adopted child. I was adopted right when I was born. I was not adopted into a royal family. I was adopted into a good family. If you are adopted, you understand a little bit more of what the strength of that means. Part of it is the statement that you were told since you were very little is you were chosen. Only certain people in this world can sit back and say they were chosen. Those whose parents basically had to jump through hoops in order to get pregnant and have them, and adopted children. Now, I won't go into all the psychological issues that adopted children have, but I will tell you one thing. Under Jewish law, I can disown my kids if they misbehave, if they break the rules. But under Jewish law, if I adopted somebody, I can't. They are always part of my family. And that law, being written by God, is something that He's bound to also. This means for you and I, God can't disown us. Once He's adopted us, we're there forever. Think about that. What an amazing honor. Furthermore, adopted children under Israeli law get 1.5 firstborn rights. Remember, under Jewish law, the firstborn basically gets the lion's share. They are the main inheritor. But not if we adopt somebody. If you adopt somebody, you become the top of the heap. We become 1.5 times that's not the right way of phrasing it. Are granted 1.5 times the authority and the gifts given to the firstborn. That is impressive. And what's more mind-boggling about this is Christ was his first and only born. Therefore, all of us are granted more gifts than Christ. Now, I don't know how that plays out in reality, or in practice, I should say. But I will tell you that one thing is being honored. Oh, we have been honored beyond words. We can't express the glory and beauty and wonder of this gifts that we've been given. Just being able to speak to him, just being able to speak to God is a gift. It's an honor. It's a privilege that all too often we don't even acknowledge. That we get to go to God with our problems, our little problems, our any problems, with our triumphs, if our disappointments, everything. God has sit there and given you the right to come to him for any matter whatsoever. And it just encourages you to come and talk to him. To this type of degree. And I mean, that's unheard of. No other God in the history of the earth has ever told its followers, talk to me whenever. No requirement. You don't have to sacrifice a goat to get my attention. Sorry, folks, somebody's trying to show off the car. The point is, the honor and the glory that we've been given from our Lord is beyond expression. Something I thought we should all think about. How much has he given to us? Now, how much do we give back? If he gave us all these privileges and so much honor, shouldn't we repay that by honoring him, by talking to him, by including him in our lives, since he's done so much for us? My answer, of course, is yes, we should. We have so many reasons to be grateful to the Lord, not the least of which is he died for us. And in that death, he adopted us and made us part of his family. So as you're going through your life this week, remember, you are the son or the daughter of a king. That makes you a prince or a princess. You have the God of all creation on speed dial. And not only is he on speed dial, but he wants you to call. Think about it. Okay, I hope this episode will get you to thinking a little bit about the glory and the honor that has been bestowed on each and every one of you. I know sometimes when I think about it, it just blows me away. If you do enjoy this show, please hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Share this episode with your friends, your relatives, your family, your neighbors, your enemies. Not that I think you should have very many enemies, but you can share it with them too. Either way, thank you for joining us. Remember, if you subscribe to this channel, that is the easiest way you can financially support this channel because it requires no money. Subscribe. Click. That's the least you can do. But even that is a great thing to do for us because the more people subscribe, the more options we have. Furthermore, if you actually would like to donate to this channel, look in the description for this episode and you'll see a listing of different ways you can donate. And if none of those fit with how you're thinking, it's simple. My email address is listed just so that you can get a hold of me. Please. And then you don't have to just use that email address if you want to donate. If you got a problem, email me. Whatever's up in your life, I can do no less than the Lord. I give you my email address. Come to me with whatever you have. I'll try to answer. Right now, it'd be fairly easy. Nobody writes me, but I would love to hear from you.